Welcome back to Good Morning Abuja. If you just joined us, this is still Good Morning Abuja on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. And on to my first conversation of the program today, I have with me Mariam Abubakar Sadiq, and she is an educationist. And together I'll be discussing the importance of early years education. You are welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you. And like this topic we're talking about, early years education, it cuts across everybody. Like everybody should be involved, because at least I know you were once very small, like your early years, and then you're planning to get your own, or people around you, and we want the best. Like we are growing, so we are going to find out the importance of this early years education, because I know some people feel, especially from 1 to 5 years, they usually feel it's like a waste of money, put it that way, to enroll a child in school and all that. So but now we want to find out, what do you believe are the key principles of effective early years education?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, viewers. I am Abubakar Sadiq Mariam.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an educationist, currently working at Farmer Islamic International School, Gwarimpa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a resident teacher of year 4, an English teacher of year 3. Okay, talking about the principles of effective early years education, I'd like to narrate, summarize them in 5 points. The uniqueness of every child. Every child is different, and they learn at their different speeds. Okay, so we need to know that the child is unique, and we should learn how to cater for their needs, their special needs. Another one is an engaging environment that is enthralling for the children. Okay, captivating environment that the children will love learning, using technological devices, assessments that are used in tracking the progress of the children as the learning goes on. Another one is positive relationship by models. The models are supposed to be positive with the children, motivate them, encourage them with positive words. You can do it, believe in yourself.
Oh, yes.
Okay, superb. All these are reinforcements that you use in encouraging learners to bring out the very best in them.
Don't look down on any child. Like you even if you know that they can do it, and you keep encouraging them. Trust,
love, and support them.
Okay, so how can we ensure that early years education is inclusive and accessible to all children? Just like you mentioned, like you start understanding and knowing your child at that age. So how do we make this available to all children, regardless of the background or socio-economic status?
That's a wonderful question. Firstly, I want to begin by saying that education shouldn't be free. Because
shouldn't be free?
Yes, it shouldn't be free, because it will be underrated by people in our society. It should be more of being accessible and affordable. Yeah. So let's talk about this. You know that early years is a foundation of academic journey. So much emphasis should be made to that foundational journey of academics. So in doing that, in countries like Brazil, they've raised a microfinance programs to allow poor parents to enroll their children into private sectors, because you agree with me that in our society, much of early years education is being practiced by private sectors. Another one is enforcement of taxes. That should be embarked on young children to facilitate their learning. These are programs that should be raised by our society to make early years education affordable and accessible, but not free. That is just my opinion.
But not free, and then you're sure you're getting the best, you're getting standard for education, not you know, when it's free, people don't they look down on it and be like, oh, this one, are you sure it's good? Are you sure it's that? But once exactly, that's what they do not value it. But once there's a price to pay, no matter how small, I think that's the word. So what do parents and caregivers play? As in, what's the role now? What role do they play, caregivers and then parents in supporting early years education, and how can we encourage greater engagement in involving families at large? Because definitely a child is coming from a family, so what role do they play in supporting early years education?
Once you bring a younger child to the world, it is your sole responsibility to ensure that the economic, social well-being of that child is of standard. So there should be what? Teachers and parents cooperation, teamwork, to ensure that the child is learning. So there are activities that have been put into play by my school, and it's called open day. Open day exercise, where parents come to check their children's work, communicate with their teachers about the learning progress of their children. We also have using electronic devices to communicate children's progress to parents. There's what we call communication book. Communication books are used by teachers as well in order to communicate learning progress to their parents, to children's parents, and then for them to keep track of what the children do in school.
Okay, so what challenges do educators actually face when delivering this quality early years education? Because I know it's not easy, but how can we overcome these challenges?
Motivation is the first key. Talking about motivation, you should start linking the low payments that is on the side of the school, the management. To whom much is given, much is expected from. So this is a major challenge for the educationists at early years. Availability of resources. The school you are teaching in, do they have enough resources to cater for your different learners in the class? Lack of reinforcement at home, like I earlier said. When you give children homework and they fail to do them,
they carry it back home.
You bring it back to school again. Then it means that the work is stressful on our part as teachers. So when parents are helping us to do the work, the home tasks their children have been given, I think learning is taking place already, and the children will be reminded of what they've been taught in school at home.
Okay, so how can technology be effectively integrated? Because now we're in the technology age, it's not all about talk. So how can technology be effectively integrated into early years education, and what are the potential benefits and drawback of using technology in this context? Because in case maybe as they go, but I think it's not going to be in play. Like if they start it and they are not able to continue, what is there a drawback? But definitely anything that has an advantage has a disadvantage.
The advantages of using
technology,
ICT devices in early years education cannot be overemphasized. Yes, the benefits is numerous. It's endless. You use electronic devices, non-electronic devices, activities to keep the children engaged in class. For example, you're teaching the children recitation of 26 alphabet letters. So, and then when you keep saying it over and over and over again, you become exhausted. But when you have a video clip on it, just play it on the television and let them watch. It helps them to develop listening skills. It helps to tackle your audiovisual learners, your visual learners. And some of them, the activities they do in these videos, they try to emulate them, put them into practice. It solves it. Consistency. When the video ends, you play it along again with them. You sing along with them. You recite the alphabetical letters with the children. You will not get tired. It will be interesting for them.
And then they are always usually happy when they are learning something.
You keep jumping around. Movement also. Where you move with them, as the video is playing, you move with them, you dance with them, and then you sing along with them. They learn best through that way.
Okay. So we're going to pause here. We'll go for a short break, and after that, we'll still come back to you. Like, we are still going to continue from where we stopped. So
thank you.
Just hold that thought. We'll come back. We'll go for a short break, and after that we'll continue with our conversation. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Good Morning Abuja, and I've been in the studio with Mariam Abubakar Sadiq, and she is an educationist. She has been talking and telling us about early years, the importance of early years education in children. So we're going to continue from where we stopped. So now we're going to find out how, as in, with all these strategies, the technology, like we mentioned before we went on the break, all these, how do we evaluate the effectiveness of these early years education programs, all the things that we put in place? How do we know, how do we ensure it's effective and ensure that they're actually meeting the needs of children? It's not all about this. Do we actually, it's just like putting, okay, people that go through early years education and people that don't. Is there actually, can we actually say there will be a difference at the end of the day, that this is actually a better solution in bringing up children, a better foundation in bringing up children that would be actually better leaders of tomorrow? Is that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The fact is that you cannot compare who has got the knowledge with someone who doesn't.
Okay.
That's the truth. If you want to compare people or children that have gained early years education with those that do not, you will see that there's a huge difference. A bridge needs to be covered. For them, though, I'm talking about those that have not acquired this early years education.
Yeah.
They need tutorial at home.
Okay.
They need to be formally engaged. Some of them don't go into a formal early years education because of lack of financial support. Just
like I said earlier, that some see it as a waste of money or something.
Yeah. So without that, they have to have another way, have a way of covering this bridge at home, like getting tutors for their children at home, engaging them in 20 naira, 15 naira lesson, and that is being carried out in the environment where they live. Because you see a huge difference. How can you enroll a child into primary 1 when all the children in primary 1 has got knowledge about recitation of alphabetical letters, accounting of numbers 1 to 100, and naming all the states and capitals in Nigeria, with someone who doesn't have? Even if you're going to involve the differentiation method in the class, the child will still be below average mark. There's what we call social interaction also. Yes. So, and then language acquisition. English language is a language of instruction. The child should start learning all of that, especially when it is not gotten from the home. When your language is being taught to the child, let the child also have English as a formal language. And if you cannot do everything at home, of course, I know most parents won't have the time to do all of this. Enroll the child into early years education. It is not a waste of time, and it is not a waste of resources. That child needs to contribute their quota to the society. Enroll them. If you don't have the financial support, there are lessons around that you can enroll your child. 15 naira lesson, 100 naira lesson per day, that you can enroll your child into it, so that the child gets acquainted to some of these things that are taught in early years education. But I bet you it can never be like a formal education that is being taught in the school.
Okay, nice. It's been nice talking with you. Like, we should go on and on, because there's so much actually to learn. But with this you said, I know we've actually learned a lot, and we believe when next we ask you to come, because we can actually not exhaust this topic. It's also, as in, we keep learning every day, and then things keep coming up. So definitely we'll ask for you to come again, and I'm sure you will not turn us down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on.
The pleasure will always be mine.
Thank you for coming on the program.
I also want to add up something.
Okay.
If you had to compare, most of African young children do not know what their counterparts from other countries, the basics, academic basics, that other children from other countries are aware of. And that's because parents fail to enroll their children into early years education, because the benefit is endless. We can go on and on and on.
Just like she has said, we can go on and on and on, but don't worry, today we'll let you go, but we'll definitely invite you some other time. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
I'll be speaking with Mariam Abubakar Sadiq. She is an educationist, and just as she has said, we should encourage children to actually participate in early years education, because it prepares the child for activities out there, and with that we'll be grooming a good leader for our future for the future of tomorrow. We'll go for a short break, and after that we'll come back because the program will continue shortly.